Welcome to Life on the Moose, where today we install window and door trim in the off-grid cabin. But I would be remiss if I didn't take a step back and let you know how we got here. We've all heard the adage, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Well, in 2015, Red Moose Ranch was dealt a huge lemon when a wildfire raged the property. Because of fortune and a wide fire break, the cabin was spared, but we lost nearly all vegetation, including all of the fir trees and most of the mature ponderosa pines, drastically changing the landscape. So we faced a decision to either sell and start over somewhere else, or stay and make lemonade. Today's episode is about turning dead, burned trees into gorgeous, one-of-a-kind window and door trim. Today, we're making lemonade. Thanks for watching Life on the Moose, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button below so you never miss what's coming next. This is the 1x4 approximately. That's be 1x4. These are about 1x6. Actually, they're net over 1x6, I believe. But all we need out of the wide ones is 5 5/16. And then we're going to come up with a common number, whatever that is. We're just going to trim the edges if we have to, run it through the table saw. But yeah, this is going to be the picture frame in the outside. So this is the standing dead, actually some of it was falling over, ponderosa pine that burned in the fire. So that's what we have. We have some wormholes, interesting stuff. I think those worms are dead by now. Reminds me of a story. There's a piece of this wood from the same log that the entryway is made out of. I made a countertop a year after I made the top, after it had several coats of polyurethane on it. Guess what? Worms. A couple worms started boring themselves to the surface. So, you never know, but hey, that's okay. Character, right? Okay, I'm gonna make 2 passes on this. What I wanna do, just to help straighten it out as much as possible, is to take a little bit off of each end. So obviously the first cut is gonna be wider than 5 5/16. So I'm gonna make the first one at, let's make it at 5 3/4. All right, well, I'm gonna do the math real quick and find out how many we need for this to happen. How many do we need? Okay, so we have 3 windows that are 5 by 3. So the circumference of a 5 by 3 window is 16. 5 plus 3 plus 5 plus 3. 16. Okay, 3 of those, 48. Plus we have a 3 by 3. Is 3 plus 3, but that's 12. So 12 plus 48. So we need 60. We need 60 linear feet. So here's the finished dimension right there. Not a bad edge. Not bad. We're not making furniture here. We're just trimming out a window in a cabin. Okay, so I'm gonna run the sander across this and call it good. This is gonna be pretty rough stuff, but that's okay. That's what we want. It smells awesome. I wish you could smell this. It's kind of a cross between high school shop class and Christmas. It smells great. Look at that green. That's gonna look pretty. We're gonna oil this stuff up too, so it'll look good. All right, let's get the old sander out. Yay! Show you a little deeper dive of these wormholes here. So when you cut the wood, you see these trails, and they just, I don't know. What do they do? Just bite this stuff and poop it out, bite it out, spit it out, bite it up, spit it out. I don't know what they do with it, but they're making their way through. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, especially the back side of this. That's never gonna be seen, so I'm just gonna pick a side and I'm gonna run the sander over it. You know what? If there's some of this stuff left in there, hey, it's gonna be forever enshrined in polyurethane or whatever it is I decide to put on here. Check out that cool little pocket of resin right there. It's probably dinosaur DNA in there. Probably not. Okay. Whew. Well, that's a wrap on the window wrap. Isn't this fun? There's something about, you know, sanding isn't my favorite thing in the world. If someone said, hey, let's go sand stuff today, I'm like, yeah, I can think of a lot better things I'd rather be doing than sanding things. But when it's on your own wood from your own property, going into your own cabin, that's pretty cool. And if you ever have a chance, do it. You'll never regret it. Hey, good morning. I'm just hanging with my friend Marty the Marmot. There he is. He's just eating some grass. It's probably been a long 2 days of rain, which it has. All right, I'm gonna finish up the sanding. I have one more stick, and then I have an idea. All right, last stick. Let's see which one we like better. Let's test these out real quick. I might even throw in some polyurethane to see how it compares. So I have this test board here. It's exactly the same wood, and I sanded it as well. So let's try some lacquer. This is what is earmarked for the floor, but I'm open. So let's just throw a little bit on there. Okay, so I'm gonna put lacquer on the left. Let's see what that looks like. Oh man, that is going to be nice. Let me get a little more on that. Okay, lacquer on the left. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, now I'm gonna get a little tung oil. Should be using a brush is what I will be using, but let's see what that looks like. Boy, that's gonna look good no matter which way I choose. What do you think? I think I'm gonna go with the tung oil. Okay, you ready to get loaded up? We have our 3.5 inch material here. And what I did, I went ahead and cut my tops and bottoms for the window wrap, since I know that's gonna be exactly 60 inches, a tad less. So I don't wanna fight it when I get up there. So that's ready to go. So I'm gonna measure the big windows when I get up there, and probably about lunchtime, then I can come back down here and cut those to size, the size I need. So I'm gonna load this thing up so we can get up the hill. Does anybody watching remember the Beverly Hillbillies? That's all I gotta say about that. Hey, you wanna grab one end of this? Okay, I'll do it. I'll do it. Getting crowded in here again. All right, I'm gonna have to take those windows out of here. I could really use a hand. I know what you're thinking. That's what I would be thinking. All right. I don't know how I'm gonna get those on that side by side and get them down the hill, but I will. I'll figure it out one way or another. Did I mention these are heavy? Spray foam, gaps and cracks. We're gonna fill our gaps and fill our cracks. Okay, we have all those 5-footers cut, and those 5-footers will go in the bottom of those windows and on the tops. So I'm gonna put them first, as well as this window. Those are all 3x5s. So I'm gonna put that wrap on first, but before I put the wrap on, I'm just gonna make sure that all the gaps are filled, which they're not right now. So I am going to fill them. Okay, I changed my mind. I decided I'm going to go ahead and put tung oil on this before I put it up. So these are all my 5 5/16 boards for the wrap. So I am going to do these first, and then by the time I'm done with all these, I can probably get them at least up on the window, and then I can do my other measurements. And once I get my other measurements, then I'll cut and I'll oil and I'll just do a process. So I'm going to go ahead and get these oiled up, and we'll go from there. Nice little before and after. By the way, this woodwork is almost an inch thick. Yeah, it's way overkill. I think I originally cut this for flooring. Last minute decided to go a different route, the old house route. So freed up this wood. So I thought, why not use it for trim? Really nice out here. It's only, I'm guessing it's about 55 degrees out here, but the sun is shining. My goodness, you wouldn't know it. Oh, that's the pink one. This is gonna be good. Man, that dark stuff right there, which is pre-rotten punky stuff, that's really sucks it in like a sponge, as you could imagine. But that'll be fine. I think it'll just harden up eventually and last a long time. Check that out. Can you see that? Just a tad less than 34. Just a tad more than 34. 16th less and a 16th more. That's good. I think I have that left over from the 5s that I cut off of those almost 8-footers. So this will work out perfect. Getting breezy. Hope you don't blow over there. I still haven't got myself a different tripod. I'll have to work on that. If anyone has an idea for a better tripod for an iPhone or whatever the case may be, let me know. Just leave a comment. That would be awesome. Just like that. Holy cow. Let's make our own trim, he said. It's gonna be easy, he said. It'll look great. It will look great. Easy, not so much. I just came back from lunch. It was a long lunch, but I made all of the trim I need for the big windows. And I think the door, I think I have everything I need. So let's just keep at it. Okay, while those tops and bottoms are drying, I am gonna install these legs. Ooh, that's gonna be pretty. Nails, nails, nails. Hey, where'd you put the nails? I'll get them. Oh, hey, they're right here. 2.5 inch nails. Ooh, that's pretty. So notice I have this big gap right there. I don't like that. So before I nail the outside piece of trim on, I'm just going to take my chisel. Right there, it's good to go. All right, got the tops and bottoms of that one. They're installed. I have the sides cut and oiled, and they're ready to be installed. I still have to do that 3x3 over there. And these are all wrapped. These two and that one, they're wrapped and they're ready for the picture frame trim. Do you remember several episodes ago I had mentioned I'm more of a jack of a lot of trades than I am an expert at any of them, really. Well, add windows to what I'm not an expert at. Look what I discovered. Can you see that right there? I even hate to show you. It's just embarrassing. Yeah, that's wet. Do you remember when I told you that I had to go do some trim on the outside? Well, do you remember when I said also that I had to do some caulking on the outside? Yeah, I didn't get around to doing that caulking, and the last 2 days, driving rain. So that's what's going on here. I need to put some caulk on the outside sooner than later. Figure out if there's any weep holes that are clogged. I may have to remove that outside bottom piece of trim and make sure. So I don't want that happening again. And I'm going to be oiling this thing soon, so can't have that wet. Another morning. Well, while that stuff charges in the background, I'm gonna measure, cut, do as much as I can without a nailer. Hey, sounds like my compressor's charged. Windows are wrapped. All of them. Look at that windowsill right here. Pretty as a postcard, as they say. Now we start working on the skirt. I think that's what I call this bottom one. The skirt board right there. One that runs along. In fact, I got this one cut already. It's gonna sit right along here. So the skirt board is gonna go even with the sides. Sides are gonna go the bottom even with the bottom of the skirt board. And the top is going to extend all the way out even with everything else. Okay, let's keep measuring, cutting, oiling, all of the above. So I want a 1/4 inch reveal all the way around the wrap. So that's what I'm shooting for. Get this thing about in the middle. If we're off a 1/16 of an inch, no one cares. And no one will notice. So I think we're good. For my legs, I go the bottom of the skirt to the underside of the top window wrap, plus 1/4 inch. So I'm about 38 1/8 for that. So let's cut some legs. So what do you think, huh? Looks pretty good. So ideally when you do trim, you want this nail to go into this part of the window wrap. That way you get, this line is nice and tight. And as far as reveals, no rules. This could overhang for a different effect. This could be mitered. You can do anything. That's the beauty of building your own place in the middle of nowhere. You can do pretty much whatever you want, especially when it comes to trim. It's not structural. It's all about how it looks. I used to do finished carpentry in Seattle, worked on multi-million-dollar homes. When you do that, especially when you're working for someone else, it's more like it's an engineer problem or a math problem. you definitely use that side of your brain. But when you're doing this, hey, it's all about creativity and doing whatever the heck you want, whatever the heck looks good to you. Voila! All right, almost there. Doors done, windows done. Those windows finished. This one's done. All right, we still have to do this big beast right here. So what I did not allow for was the very bottom, the baseboard, because when I put the window trim up, which is 3.5 inch, it still leaves about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch gap on the bottom along the floor. So I don't want that. So what I want is that bottom piece of trim to go all the way to the floor, serve as the baseboard. So I have to cut that to length, or to width, I should say. And that'll just take me a second. I'm gonna go grab some lunch. I'll be back in a minute. And then we're gonna wrap this episode up in just a couple minutes. I'll see you in a second. All right, I have my baseboard slash bottom trim piece for those big windows right there. So this is ready to be attached. Oh, I wanted to show you something cool. So I'm gonna put this board between the two windows. Look at that sucker. Isn't that a nice piece of wood? So it's interesting. So this was cut off the end of that big board I just showed you. It's kind of interesting. Obviously this stuff, as you can see, is real, what I call punky. It's soft. It's ultimately the beginning of rot, if you will, but it's dry as a bone. But when I hit this knot and I cut that knot, man, it just like released aroma like you wouldn't believe. It's like Christmas threw up or something. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there you have it. It's like balsa wood. Balsam? Balsa? Balsam. Now I don't know. Okay, so what the heck do we have going on here? Well, this front board, face board, was a little wonky. It was a little warped. So I just took this one and just braced it up against the side just to push it over. So, you know, more than one way to skin a cat. The trim is finished on the windows and doors. Boy, I really like that. Now let me give you a quick tour. So here we have a window, fully cased and wrapped. Two more of the same. And that door. You know what my favorite piece of wood is right here. Look at that color, look at that red. Holy cow. I don't know if that's a fungus. If anyone knows exactly what would cause that red, let me know. Well, my work here is done. For today anyway. I'm happy the way it turned out. All the lines aren't exactly straight. All the boards aren't exactly straight. But it's beautiful. It's one of a kind. You won't find trim like this anywhere else. All right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. It's 5:30. I'm gonna clean this mess up, grab me a little bite to eat. I'm happy with this. And I'm happy that you guys are tuning in. I do appreciate that. Thank you for watching Life on the Moose. I'm out of here. We'll see you next week.